Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. I've got today new customer in the shop. I was recommended to him by my other customer who I keep seeing for years. And it's another incredible 1997 Toyota 4Runner. This one is really cool looking when it's on the ground. The tires are making it really good looking. I will show you when I will lower it, I guess. But it's another 97 4Runner which will not die, which will survive anything. This one has 287,000 miles. Absolutely incredible. So it's a new customer, so we are all learning about each other. I'm learning about the customer and the vehicle mainly, and they will also know in the future what they can expect from me. So we started with engine oil and filter change and tire rotation, but customer has a concern. Sometimes when he will be turning wheels, there will be loud annoying squeak from the front. Also, it will happen while driving over some bumps. Of course, the day when he showed up, I saw him pulling in front of the garage. He hopped out. He's like, well, of course it's not making right now when I'm trying to show it to you. So I was kind of skeptical if I will be able to find it, because sometimes it's very difficult to give clear answer to the customer. I was kind of hesitant about that, but I will see, you know what, when I will put it on the lift, I will make decision if you will pay me for diagnostic time or not. When I put her up, it became so obvious immediately. There's no need for diagnosis, and it's absolutely obvious. Let me show you what I saw. So I got that super cool looking truck up in for that oil change. I started looking around how everything looks up, and obviously he mentioned the site. So I started looking, and is it possible the lower ball joint, when the vehicle was still on the ground and I grabbed the top of the tire, there was not play on either side. But this is such a great case. It's related to the lower control arm, if we can look at it this way so it makes sense to everybody, right? So it's a lower control arm with its bushings. There are these hex bolts which are for adjusting the alignment. So this is really important part for the wear of the tires. If you see the wear on the mostly on the inside of the tire, it's not really on outside, it always happens on inside. That means the bushings are collapsed. And we have absolutely great opportunity to film it today because it's so visible. I hope I will be able to zoom on it and show it to you. So both these rubber bushings are actually collapsed, and there is huge cracks. There are huge cracks which I'll try to zoom on. It's all in shreds. Hopefully you can see it here. They are all broken. This one not, but this one, the rubber is shredded. It's collapsed there. And I will show you the difference between this one and the other one, the other side. It's really coming, it's confirmed, as he said, it's coming from his driver's side. And it's mainly, well, I will say both of them. Let me grab it better and show you the detail. Do you see how it's ripped? The bushing is completely separated from each other. It's basically that center part separated. It's ripped, and I will be showing you, this is that shredded area. It's all moving. There's actually a lot of movement. I will change the light. Let's look at this one. Can you see it? Also, this one is broken. It's in the pieces. I will also show you the part on the desk, on the table. I have a sample here. Oh yeah, you see it. Hopefully this is absolutely clear angle when you can see the damage. And I was hesitant with him because in past I had a few times cases that it was hard to find out where the squeak was from. We filmed for you the bottom of the struts when the bushing goes bad right here. When it collapses, it will be squealing and squeaking all the time, but it's not this case. We saw it in the parking lot, so I was like telling him, okay, I will see. But look how obvious it is. Even with the very small pry bar, applying very little of pressure on this area. Check out, this is from me. I was prying on it, so that wasn't there, that little scrape, but check out this play. As I said, very little of pressure. Look at the movement. This is moving in and out, this arm, at least 2 or 3 millimeters. I put the camera on the tripod because I realized when I pull on that pry bar, I keep moving the camera. So now it's stable, and look at it. Do you see it? How much it moves? It's absolutely clear, there's no question. Not only we see the tear in the rubber of the bushings, this is moving a lot. Yep. Now, I was using the pry bar also this way. Right, so the play is in all over directions. I will show you the other one on the other side. Where it barely started, the movement will be almost, I will say, non-existent. So this is the back. I can show you another spot. When I pry on it, just observe the whole wheel and these components right here. So this is the rear part. The whole wheel is moving big time, and this will be the front right now. Alright, so everything's moving. It's a huge movement of that entire arm, and that has to be replaced, definitely. And we will look as a comparison on the passenger side. So using the same tool, that smaller pry bar, applying the same. There is not half millimeter even, it's like 1/10 of millimeter. Basically non-existent movement when I apply the same power on those bushings. Here in the rear, nothing. I will have to grab a huge pry bar to make it visibly move and show you something. So just these two sides are completely different. Driver's side is bad, it should be replaced soon, and the passenger side is totally fine. Of course, if you will go to the big shops, the service writer will recommend you to change both sides in the same time. There is a logical idea for it too, because when you replace these, you have to do alignment of the vehicle, and that nowadays in California costs like $120 So you don't want to align the vehicle after you did one arm right here, and then maybe only 1 year later you will be spending another $120 for another alignment only a year later. So it makes sense. However, it's hard to predict how quickly this other arm bushings will give. We don't know. That depends on how many miles you drive, and also if you drive off-roading where there is a higher stress on the components. As he was here with me today, I showed him both examples, and these are from the same generation. These are identical parts. This is actually driver's side lower control arm, so it correctly says rear and front, you see it, and that's basically, these are the bushings. Now, to replace these is costly. I started this job 2 weeks ago as replacing the bushings only. I have them still in the shop, but they were so rusted in that control arm. That day I gave up and I had to order entire arm. It just didn't go out. I talked to my landlord, my neighbor. They work on a lot of Toyotas too, and they clearly said we were doing it in the past, replacing bushings only, but we gave up on it long time ago. The problem is sometimes the bushing is so rusted in, it will not give up. Then you start damaging this area on the arm, and it's absolute waste of time. So they said they gave up on it, they don't do it anymore, and they replace entire parts. Here, just for the kicks, there is that identical lower ball joint which you just saw right there on the truck. So now you see these parts, you can understand what's going on. These are the bushings which affect alignment, and they have to be replaced. The unfortunate thing is the cost. The parts are very expensive. I hope this video will be helpful to some of you, that you have learned something. Maybe I have sped up your diagnostic process when you will have same generation of 4Runner or Tacomas. These Tacos, it's identical absolutely. When you start hearing some squeaking on turning, because that's what he said, mostly it was on the turning and over the bumps, you will know immediately, hey, small pry bar, and let's go check my lower control arm bushings. By the way, there are also bushings on the upper control arm, and it's the same thing again. That just affects alignment. It cannot cause that catastrophic failure when you lose that entire wheel and everything is being ripped out, including the CV axles and so on. It's only that lower ball joint and upper ball joint which is so dangerous, and many of you replace it as a preventative measure even before it has a crack in the rubber boot or it develops any play, which is very smart, and it's a good insurance for the future that nothing will happen to you. So if you like this video, please give it a thumb up and be subscribed. I have way more coming your way soon. See ya! Just like how it looks with those rims and tires. It has a good stance. So that front is pretty interesting.